delivered the royal baby, you don't have to worry about mealtime madness. You've got help for that. But back here in reality, that hour or so you spend getting dinner prepared for every member of the family is pure chaos. Wouldn't it be great to have one dish that feeds everyone? Well, enter our next guest. This is Roni Proter, I apologize, lifestyle expert and mom of two. Now, she's here to show us one simple meal to serve everyone in the house. Good morning to you.
Good morning. I know that you have kiddos too, so you can definitely relate. And for me, I have one that's 7 months old, so he's just starting solids, and I have a toddler, and then I have a husband, and you want something that's easy that feeds everybody.
Right,
so.
And you don't want to have to make separate meals for every single person in the household. All right, so what are we making here?
All right, so I always keep rice made ready on hand. This is just brown rice that I steamed. You know, if you have Chinese leftovers.
Yeah, in fact I do, in the refrigerator at home.
That
I sure
rice, it's like a little stale, you can refresh it this way. So the first thing I do is I'm going to do rice and spinach. This is half a pound of spinach, which cooks down to like a cup. And by the way, if you have frozen spinach, use that. You can use frozen spinach, fresh spinach, either option is okay. Right, yeah. So, and I'm just going to puree this.
So
now you have baby food.
And what is it? It's garlic that I smell too.
Garlic.
You haven't put it in yet?
No, that's not for the baby.
All right.
So, you can make it more smooth if your baby is just starting solids, but there you go.
All right, so option one for the baby is done, checked off the list.
Scoop it off, and I just fed this to my son actually last night, and I added a little bit of peach puree, so it was a little bit sweeter. But okay, so now on to the toddler. Okay. I'm going to add an egg. And this is actually going to be for the toddler and for the adults. Okay. I add a little bit of mozzarella, actually a cup of mozzarella.
All right. And I'm happy to get my hands dirty too.
You know what? Why don't you start pulsing?
Okay.
Just toast that.
Here we go. Just
right. There you go.
All right.
Okay. And then add a little bit of flour. Okay. Go ahead.
The whole thing?
The whole thing, yeah.
All right.
And that's just a couple of tablespoons, and that's going to bind it together.
Okay. So far, so good. Pretty easy.
Yes. And guess what? You're done. So I'm going to make these little spinach and rice cakes, basically, which we just form into cute little balls. And we put them straight into the fryer. I'm not going to let you get your hands dirty,
I'll
let you. So nice.
Oh, well, thank you so
so
much.
while these fry up, what I like to do is I will compartmentalize. So I cut up the vegetables, and I have little vegetables for the kids. I cut up the chicken. By the way, this is a smoked rotisserie chicken from Whole Foods. If there's one thing that you want to do to save time in the kitchen, buy a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, get one every week is what I do, at least in our family. And we could use it for multiple purposes.
Right. So now you have like the spinach, and you have the chicken, and you have the tomatoes separately. By the way, try this. Okay. If this does not taste like fruit to you and something that a kid would eat, I don't know what would, right? It's super sweet. Yum. Right? Like kids would love that raw.
Absolutely.
Okay, now on to the adult, right? So I made a couple of big ones here that I think would be great for the adult. If you want, grab these tomatoes. Okay. These little chopped tomatoes, I already cut them for you.
Okay, what do you want me to do with them?
You're just going to put them in the pan.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Over here, put them in the pan. And again, I think the thing that you keep emphasizing is that you're essentially kind of conforming the dishes and transforming them into other options for different tastes within the family, but it's still starting with the very basic basic ingredients.
And if you cut everything separately, then it's much easier. You know, my family's Israeli, and so for us it was always growing up about healthful, fresh food, but it wasn't health food. You know, it was fresh food that tasted really yummy. So to that, I'm going to add chicken, some basil, and why don't you do a little glug of white wine?
Oh, love it. All right,
glug. All right, and you let that saute for like 2 minutes while everything else is cooking, these little patties. And when this is done, you have dinner.
Voila.
One for the kid and a little puree for the baby. Why don't you try it?
All right, I'm going to give it a try. I'll tell you honestly what I think. It looks very good.
I think the smoked chicken adds a lot of depth of flavor.
This is great, and I really do appreciate you kind of helping us take the ease out of the chaos of mealtime. It's absolutely wonderful.
It's easy.
All right, I'm going to do it real quick. All right. Thank you so much for being here.
What do you think?
I think it tastes fantastic. I think it's absolutely great. All right, I appreciate it very, very much. All right, well, we've got more GMT on the way.